So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of the content console from Digital Marketing Groundworks. So on the left hand side, simple menu, which I'm going to run through, starting with the dashboard. So you'll notice I've actually got two of them up at the moment. So they both look very similar, but we're actually updating the app and what it does. So I'll flick between the two of them if I can't get something to work on the other one, because I am literally in the middle of doing it right now. So next thing we do is we look at personas. So we can add personas. So if we go back to our old version, you can see I've got a lot more personas in that one. But generally speaking, we would complete those personas for you, and then you could go in. You can either add your own personas, or you can actually edit the personas that we've put in there for you. So that's the first thing. Second thing is when people are writing content, they tend to talk about brand voice, which is quite correct. So here we've got a brand voice, and again, we can change our brand voice to however we want it, or we can add multiple brand voices depending on who we're speaking to. Now, most people would only have one brand voice if they're talking about an app. What we need, because we have multiple potential customers, we need to talk to them in different ways. So what we're going to do is we're going to write content using our brand voice, but targeting the right persona. Okay, so that's the big difference with this app, along with the fact that we're connecting all the AI apps together. So I'll do a little video on that a little bit later. So next thing we can do is any sort of company research. So if you put digital marketing, what industry, location, it will give you some companies that potentially are maybe looking for your services, products and services. Brand voice I've just been through, content analyzer. So if you've got like sales documentation or SOPs or however, what you can do is you can upload all this data into the system. So what will happen is as you upload the data, there'll be a little file at the bottom which you can then go and edit, or you can delete and upload new documentation. So again, when it writes the content, what it's actually doing is it's doing the brand voice to the right persona and taking your marketing material that you've uploaded, all the documentation, and when it writes the content, it's bearing all this content in mind, so it's referencing it all over the place. And so if we go down to the next menu, which is the internal URLs here, you can see as it writes the content, part of SEO is your internal linking strategy. So what this will do is it will link to certain pages on your website. So generally speaking, it will automatically add two of these potential links into your website. We've then got a question generator. The only other section, there's two other sections that we do actually complete for you. The first one is going to be the products and services. I'll come back to the question generator in a minute. Here you can see we've got all of our products and services, and again we can add our own if you'd like to. So if you don't think the ones that we've put in there are correct, or if you wanted to adjust them, then you can go in there and adjust them. And again, when it writes, when the actual app writes the content in its brand voice to the right persona, it's also targeting the right product and service for that persona, if that makes sense. So it's not straightforward, I'm just going to do a load of content for you. If you want to, blast 100 emails out, 100 blogs and put them all over your website, I don't recommend you do that. But if that's the sort of thing you want to do, this is definitely not the tool for you. This is a strategic tool that is trying to get the right customers. It's not about mass market And obviously, whenever you deal with anything with AI, you always ensure that you read it, that the content is correct, so that you can then adjust it. So the next bit that I usually put in for people is this adaptive strategy. So again, it's like a blueprint. So you can read here, first of every month, 9 a.m. If you've actually got an AI website within the Groundworks AI ecosystem, you can actually deliver content straight to the app, the website app. So again, I'll show you the bigger picture in a second. But here you can get the idea that it's looking at this and seeing and adjusting it on the first of every month at 9 a.m. So demonstration. I'm going to go to the question generator, and at the top we're just putting a digital marketing strategy as it's already come up. I'll put the lowest number just to sort of show you so we're not hanging around too long. We're going to generate some questions here. So these are the top questions that people are asking about digital marketing, and we've also got the intent of the customer. And what we can do then is we can say, okay, I like, let's find a transactional. Well, I do like a transactional. So we'll click on that, or you can select them all if you want to, and we can go and create a blog. And you'll notice in the left menu, we've moved from the question generator to the blog composer. And there's three ways that you can compose a blog. Okay, so the first way is you can put in your keyword. It will analyze the top 10 URLs, extract the top 20 keywords that run throughout that content, and then base everything that it's going to write on that. And then you can obviously target your persona. You put in the right brand voice and how many words you want on that. We can go to from a product. So again, I've added the products, so they're in the list. So here we can basically put in the AI business operating system or whatever our products and services are. And again, we can target the right person in the right brand voice and target how many words we want. For this demo, I'm going to go back to the questions. So here you can see the question, where can I find affordable digital marketing services for my startup? Okay, so we can target a person. So digital marketing services buyer, strategic voice. I'm just going to do the lowest amount of words. And here, if you open up, you can actually get a content brief as well. Let's generate that content. So this will just take a couple of seconds. And what's going to happen is all the content that is generated moves down into your content library, which is the next one down on the menu you'll see there. So it's generated the blog, and here internal linking, we can actually manage our URLs so that the internal links go into the blog post as we actually write it. We're going to go to our content library, and you should see that blog post here, which you can. And then what we can do is we can edit. So top right hand corner, you can edit the blog as you wish. There's going to be stuff in there that is obviously AI, things like this, which is why every time you do any sort of AI content, you really ought to be, and this is why that mass marketing, send as many blogs out as possible is not going to work, because you really need to sit down and actually read it and make sure that the content is accurate. On the right hand side, we can obviously, when we publish it, if it's a like a WordPress site or something like that, you can obviously copy it. So if we just save the changes here, you can see copy, or we can download. If you've got an AI website within the ecosystem, the Groundworks AI ecosystem, then obviously you can click and the blog will actually go directly into that website. So if we edit again, scroll down, you can see here we've got our SEO, we've got our featured image, etc. And again, we can then from that go down to the next section, which is our social variants. So from here, if you click, you can actually see our same question. So it's just followed through. And what we're going to do is we're just going to generate our social media posts based on this question. So on LinkedIn at the moment, one of the things we're doing is we're doing an article on LinkedIn, and then we're using a social variant post on LinkedIn to actually link internally to that article that we've just put on LinkedIn, if that makes sense. You might have to rewind and listen to me saying that again. But this would then go directly to the article we've previously written. And so here you can see we've got the LinkedIn version, we've got Facebook, Instagram. On the YouTube, TikTok, quite often it will also give you an idea of maybe what you should be putting in the videos and what they should be looking like. There's also a carousel there if you particularly wanted to make that into a carousel. From there, we can either paste it, like copy paste, like anything else. We can edit, so we can edit whatever we want. Or if you have a look on the left hand side, you can see a scheduler. So if we click on schedule, we can actually schedule this on LinkedIn or whatever platform we want. In order to do that, or we can just go to a date and just click on it and it will open. And then from here, we can actually then, if you go to social accounts, this is where you'd actually connect it. So I can't connect this for you. You need to, as a business, be able to do it. So you can see they're separate: LinkedIn personal, LinkedIn business. When you click on it, you need basically to have this. You need to go to this LinkedIn developers and find ultimately the LinkedIn app client ID and the LinkedIn app client secret. Otherwise, the what you call it is not going to work. The scheduling is not going to work. So basically, because I can't do one that sort of helps everyone or does it for everyone, this is a personal thing that is to your accounts, because you're actually posting from your accounts. Next thing we've got, obviously, it's not meant as an email blast, newsletters, all that type of thing. For that, you can use MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, something like that. This is doing just basic lead generation through email. So thanks for your email, or thanks for whatever it is. You've then got your post performance. So we can also look at competitors and benchmark and all that type of thing. We've then got the last section of this is the adaptive strategy, which I've already spoken about. So again, you can go in, change that and save it. You've then got the keyword strategy tool. So I know that this is not connected because I haven't put the secret code in yet. So if I go back to my old copy and we go to here, keyword strategy, if we just put in dog, for example, here, what you can do is you can then find all the keywords with the word dog in it from a UK search. In this particular instance, we can click on whichever word we want, and that will then put that into a negative. So a positive keyword is a keyword that we know we want, or we're unsure. So if we're unsure about a keyword, we leave it in positive. A negative keyword, obviously, if we don't do food, for example, dog food or dog training, we can then basically export both columns. So we can export that like so. And this is really good for your paid advertising. So you've then got your positive, negative list, change the positive into exact match and offset it against the negative. Therefore, the conversion rate is going to be a lot quicker, a lot faster, higher. You've then basically, once you've got your list of positive keywords, you can send those direct and you have a quick look through, delete what you don't want, and then what we can do is we can click on search here. And what that will do is it will give us the data required in order to optimize pages. Although I would say to you that if you've got an AI website now, unlike WordPress, where you're employing a digital marketer to do SEO and what have you, you can now, with an AI website, I did an experiment where I optimized 4,000 products in 30 minutes. That is the equivalent to something like 366 man hours, which is just ridiculous, as you know. So we can speed things up with AI websites now. And again, what we can do is we can analyze what those keywords look like. And so here we've got the keyword that we've decided is a keyword that's interesting to us and is going to drive the right traffic. We've got potentially how many people are searching. We've got the cost per click, the competition level, and then the month-on-month search volumes. I won't go into the SEO and keyword research, but that is what that tool is there and designed to do. You've then, if you click down to the next one, we've got SEO sheets. So if you have a WordPress website, put the URLs in, and this will then generate a full SEO. So titles, meta descriptions, H1, H2 will all come up here, and then you can obviously make sure you're using the SEO in the right way again. You've then got an indexing. So indexing is really important, especially if you've got an e-commerce website where you've got lots of products, they're changing all the time. All you do is put in your website URL with the sitemap, and we will submit that for you. And again, we've got our own submission tool that does that. We've then got the logic methodology. So the logic digital marketing methodology is a structure that was designed about 6-7 years ago by us. We teach it still in universities, master's classes, and it is a methodology that if you wanted to follow, you could do. So you can see if we click on here, you've got the welcome, and everything is video. So again, intro to logic digital marketing methodology. And so if you're looking for a strategy, all these videos as well are on YouTube, and you can start to see.
Good day and welcome on behalf of the entire Groundworks digital marketing team.
So you get the idea. So there is actually a full-on course in there as well. But this strategy here is actually already built into the framework of the content strategy. So in the grand scale of things, how does that fit in with the digital marketing ecosystem? So first of all, the content app is one of our core apps. So we've got the content at the bottom, content console. We've got the performance monitor, a connection hub, an AI steward, our control plane. So this is, you think of this as an AI brain. And then we've got some other apps that are available, things like the website app, SEO, GEO, YouTube app, etc. And how that all fits in here is into this ecosystem here. So this is the Digital Marketing Groundworks ecosystem. At the bottom, you can see all the apps, along with the connection hub. So this is basically where you would connect up your Canva, QuickBooks, MailChimp, your HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever it is, external sources into the connection hub. You'd have all your apps going into the connection hub. They would in turn be connected and all these would talk to each other. So AI Steward, our brain, would then basically look at everything coming into the system, give us insights. And obviously we don't want the AI to take over in any way. So what it does is it will give you the insights and then make suggestions for the marketing controller. So the marketing controller is a person that basically has a look at these insights and then approves them. And on approval, AI Steward, the brain, will then basically implement that change. And at the top, if you've got a lot of data, then obviously you'd probably want AWS and data warehousing in the form of something like Snowflake. So that gives you a whole view, if you like. So this at the moment is too much for a lot of people. They are, I wouldn't say terrified of it, but it's certainly a new concept. I personally think that this is the future, and what we're doing is, apps, generally speaking, they tend to be using what's called RLS. So RLS it's a multi-tenanted app. So basically you have one app and you have 50 customers, for example, in that app. So everyone's using the same app. So they all see the same menu. The problem with this is that there's always the potential of data leakage. So you're seeing somebody else's data, they're seeing your data. So what we've done is we've got rid of the RLS altogether, and we've said one app is for one business and one business is for one ecosystem. And that way there is no chance at all of any data leakage going forward. It's a lot more work for us in terms of setup, that type of thing. But from a business point of view, it makes absolute sense. Anyway, I've spoken enough, and I hope you like the demo. And if you want to contact us, obviously you'll have my details. My name's James Pybus. I'm on LinkedIn. Thank you.